this life that are sure. Of that I'm sure. Only two things in this life that are sure. Of that I'm sure. Only two things in this life that are sure. Of that I'm sure.
I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him, takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Oh, how can this be? I finally found peace. Just how long till she stripped from me? So come on, baby, time will all freeze. Ain't no stopping that entropy. Am I just a dog that's found me a bone? Or perhaps have I found a home? Been sniffing around all over the town. I just can't stop settling down. Sighs on the sparrow, eyes is on me, more eyes than a KGB. Sometimes I suffer, sometimes I bleed, not all at once, time flows linearly. Only forwards, never backwards, seek the darkness, seek the laughter, raise my jersey to the rafters, let moths consume me in the light. Oh, how can this be? I finally found peace. Just how long till she stripped from me? So come on, baby, time will all freeze. Ain't no stopping that entropy. So maybe my ego's out of control. Can that be avoided? I don't know. I hated myself when I was a boy. And now that I don't, they're trying to take my joy. Sighs on the sparrow, eyes is on me, more eyes than a KGB. Sometimes I suffer, sometimes I bleed. takes, there's no escape. The good Lord He gives, the Lord He takes. No life without energy, drifting towards the deep freeze.
I'm just in love, just in love, just in love. It's no rush, it's no rush, it's no rush. I'm just in love, just in love, just in love. Up in your room once again, tempted. Bad for me, it's the truth, but I can't miss this. Don't tell my friends that I'm here to visit. Don't tell my friends that I'm here. Yeah. Waiting for you, even how you treat me. You're my baby, even when you leave me. Maybe I'm the one to blame. Maybe I'm the cause of the pain. Waiting for you, even how you treat me. You're my baby, even when you leave me. Maybe I'm the problem and the one that's causing all of this. I can't say I love you no more, cause my friends gon' judge me for sure. It took some time, but I realized you do me wrong, but it feels right. I can't say I love you no more, cause my friends gon' judge me for sure. It took some time, but I realized you do me wrong, but it feels right. Feels like I'm stuck on you. Trust me, I do understand. This is bad for me, I'm a fool, but I can't end it. Far from love, but I'm stuck. Staying while you kiss me, saying that you miss me. Hate it when you take me in. Waiting for you, even how you treat me. You're my baby, even when you leave me. Maybe I'm the one to blame. Maybe I'm the cause of the pain. Waiting for you, even how you treat me. You're my baby, even when you leave me. Maybe I'm the problem and the one that's causing all of this. I can't say I love you no more, cause my friends gon' judge me for sure. It took some time, but I realized you do me wrong, but it feels right. I can't say I love you no more. 'Cause my friends gon' judge me for sure. It took some time, but I realized you do me wrong, but it feels right. I can't say I love you no more. 'Cause my friends gon' judge me for sure. It took some time, but I realized you do me wrong, but it feels right. Feels like I'm stuck on you.
Me time itu makin yummy kalau ditemenin sama yang yummy. Campurkan Mayumi dengan susu cair dan kental manis. Salad buah jadi makin yummy. Family time juga makin yummy. Mayumiin yuk. Salad buah makin yummy.
Loved the celebration after Spirit won. I don't know if you guys caught it. They were all holding up signs to the camera with their like Instagram handles and stuff on it. I thought that was really cool because they've come from, well, for us the hardcore fans, everyone should know that they've been here for a while. But I think for the more casuals, that would have been quite the surprise. Let's keep this one going because we got FaZe Clan to talk about here. Now we had Karrigan step into this team. We know Twister's there now. There's no six-man Olaf, Caldera, Rain, etc. Brokey. For them, it was, I don't even know what type of event for them. They're saying they're playing with no pressure, and we were talking about the ultimate honeymoon on last week's episode, I think, Striker.
Yeah.
They didn't live up to that reputation. And people saying,
I'm going to call myself out. As far as I remember, I called them to win.
I think you may have said that, yeah. But we were well, it wouldn't be a joke, but we were really taking some pot shots then, right? How do you feel that they went on debut? Are you just, this is another one? We just have to go, yeah, okay, it's too early.
I mean, I guess pretty much. I actually only saw one of the games, and it was the one against Liquid where they got kind of destroyed.
Yeah.
And so, like, my view of them is a little bit skewed just because they really did look terrible there. I don't think they had much of a chance in that game ever since, like, they switched sides on Mirage essentially. And so it's, yeah, probably just a wait and see as well. It's like I expected FaZe to do well from the start just because of the history with Karrigan and like entering new teams and stuff. He's generally been very capable with making things work very early on, and so that's what my thinking was behind them actually having a chance to win this event. Obviously didn't work out. Could still be down just to the fact that, again, this is like an in-game leadership change. He's coming into basically an entirely new team compared to when he was last there. Like, this is basically just one of the same players in Rain. And so in that aspect, I guess I understand why they would have a problem.
Well, now, Alexi, unfortunately, you guys were on the receiving end of FaZe's only win within the group stage in that lower bracket match. Did it feel like you were going up against a Karrigan team? Like, could you tell that it was Karrigan's in-game leadership style? Or...
Yeah, for sure. It looked completely the same as mousesports. Like, as soon as I saw what happened on the server, and when I watched the one game they played or some series they played, it just completely looked like I'm playing against mousesports, kind of.
Okay.
So I feel like he already tried to make the adjustments there, or at least the similarity of strats.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt like that at least, and I think he will get his system or the way they think if they already started playing like so. I think it's not going to take a long while for them to already be playing like he wants.
Now, I want to give you a little bit of an experiment here. It's obviously a hypothetical situation, but let's put you in Karrigan's shoes for a second. You had the choice of the two teams, right? You could have stayed with Mouse, Acor, BMS, Rops, Frozen, and yourself, or you could have gone to phase with Rain, Twist, Cold, and Brokey. Which one would you have done?
Oh, I don't know. It it's hard to say because there must be a. I would want to say more sports because of Acor like being a young guy, having Robs, but it just feels weird that why would he make the change then? So
Yeah.
it's swaying me to face then
Okay.
because of why would Carrigan change kinda? So there must be something I guess wrong in most sports for him to change, or did he just wanna change because he was such a long time in most sports? That's something I'm guessing. So gonna sound dumb when I say again that I can't answer the question, but uh,
What what if I put it this way? If the team was Carrigan, Acor, BMS, Rops, Frozen, and at the same time there was two Carrigans and
okay,
Rain, Twist, Cold, and Brokey existed at the same time with
okay.
Carrigan there, which one do you think is going to get a trophy first?
Uh, I would want to say the face team because if Twists, let's say he's playing like he did against us, like insta killing too,
Yeah.
if he can keep that up, and I think Colt Serra might find his older version because of not being the leader, of just trying to focus on his own game only. And Brokey is still kind of like an A core where both are really young, both are really talented. So I just feel like maybe Carrigan because of the experience some of the face players had. So Cold Serra Twists Rain is they understand him and they understand the game and everything. Obviously, the other I'm not undermining the other players. All I'm just saying is I think they would win a trophy earlier.
Okay.
But who knows? Like in the long run, it's always hard to say. But I feel like Carrigan with this face roster can do sick.
It's very interesting right now with all the international teams, right, Striker? We have so many of them, and this is the talking
Yeah.
point that you and I have had a lot on the show, right? But if I just list off some of these names right now that are competing in this space with international teams, we have Complexity, we obviously have OG, we're just talking about Mouse Sports, we have Phase, we have FPX, we have Cloud9. Like, there's some heavy hitters in a lot of these teams, and some of these changes, right? Like, obviously, Chris J's left now. He's in FPX. It kind of feels like he fits in there, stepping into Crystal's role. Uh, Obviously, in-game leadership something that's new for him. But all of these teams seem like they can be threatening. Is this the most international teams we have that feel like they can compete for top 10 slots? Do you think we're reaching peak international Counter Strike squads, or we still got a while to go?
The only problem I see is that we don't have any, and none of them actually have like a top one potential at this point. That's
Okay.
kind of like the only thing that I'm looking at, right? Not for no particular reason, of course. Totally isn't
Definitely
because
not
of
the
the bet that,
communication, is it?
yeah, definitely not because of the bet that I have going on against you. But that's
Dear.
the only thing that I see. But yeah, in
Oh, I
general, like,
forgot G2. Do
yeah,
we
I
even
guess you
count
can
them?
count them in, yeah, as well.
Yeah. Well, same shit. Same
Yeah.
situation. It's weird. It's a really weird spot that we're finding ourselves in now with all these international teams because it's not like they've just sprung up, right? It's been over the years that even some teams have transitioned. But do you think that that's like Alexi? Obviously, you're in an international team, so your answer's probably going to be leaning on the side of you think that international teams can be the best in the world. But do you notice when you're calling from in English now to when you were doing it with Ents that things still can be lacking in terms of stuff being picked up by your teammates or maybe not being able to convey it as quickly as you could in Finnish?
Yes, for sure. Not, I guess. Well, yeah, it is quicker, but it's also the understanding of. Uh, it's hard to explain, but let's say in Finnish you would say a word, but you would have like a different intonation. It might
Yeah.
instantly tell the other guy that you're not in a hurry or you have this in control, or there's many examples, right? But I guess it's still a bit over a year playing for an international team, so I guess at one point it will come to me that it feels completely weird to play in a Finnish lineup, but I'm playing Face It so much with my real life friends and in Finnish that it just feels a bit more chill, you know. I kind of feel like you have to work more to play in English, whereas in Finnish it's just effortless, right?
Yeah,
So there is that,
second
but
nature.
yeah, exactly. But then you can imagine a guy like Carrigan, because we just spoke about him. He's been playing international teams for such a long time, so I guess he's already feeling that it's just as effortless, right? So there is something, like some fine details, why it would be better, at least communication wise, to be five same nationality. But there are other parts, and one of them as well is the fact that, let's say that you are an international team, and let's say um, there is, you kind of have it in the back of your head that there are more people that could replace you, you know.
Sure.
So you might, that might make you have a more like more drive to prove yourself and to have your spot, you know. So I guess there is also that one, and I think it's maybe easier because of that to run international teams, because there is a lot of options, right?
Sure. Do you think you'll ever return to in-game leading a Finnish team at any point? Is that something you want to do?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll happen one point, I'm pretty sure. But um you never know. You I could say this and play on international team for the rest of my career, but I guess it's something I get, everyone has it in them where they kind of want to have their team on the map. And now that Ens went to being EU, there is Havo anymore, and I'm not sure if they're even at the top 30 anymore. So it's like you want to be that guy who comes up one day and puts your nation on the map again, right?
Sure.
So there is always that small thing that drives you, you know, just as you like seeing an Aussie team, you know, at the top feels different.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird, isn't it? Right? Like we're all
Yeah.
doing the same thing. We're all Counter Strike players, but there's some weird pride. I guess it's like when you have that, it's because you can resonate with what people go through from where you're from to get
Yeah.
to where they
Yeah.
are. Right?
Yeah.
That must be the biggest draw for all of us. All right, we've got about 15 minutes left. Let's focus in on these playoffs just a little bit more, and then we'll go just with some questions. So if you're in Twitch chat right now, you want to start throwing some questions down, Prof's in here. I'm sure he can have a quick look, and we'll try and keep our eyes on it as well to ask Alexi. No, with these playoffs, we spoke about them before. Luckily, thank God, Navi and Astralis both lost. I was about to have a heart attack again. I thought another bracket was going to be fucking ruined, Striker, after Astralis lost that game to Spirit. But now we're set up with the potential for the Navi Astralis final. Obviously, Navi Gambit, Astralis VP. You think it's going to be easy for the favorites now that it's into playoffs?
I think it's going to be anything but easy for
Okay.
Navi. I feel like
Really?
yes, just because they've had a history with the CIS teams, and obviously it's always kind of like a weird matchup for like a lot of these teams, especially it's been in the CIS. I feel like they're just like super random, and for them, I feel like that's going to be the hardest part. I think now even just because they're about to play against Gambit that they've lost to in one of the RMR events. And then Spirit, I feel like they also lost to at one of the RMR events, but they're actually better now. So
Yeah.
there's definitely a good chance for Spirit. So it's just the top side of the bracket for some reason is just much more exciting to me, even though it's kind of like new teams coming up with like one of the favorites among them. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that part.
The storyline here, right? Because Navi have already beaten VP within this tournament. They got revenge already from IEM New York RMR, the CIS one. And now they have to go through Gambit and Spirit to make it to the final where they could verse VP again, right? Like they have to run the domestic gauntlet, which is bang on, like you're saying, something that they tend to struggle with. And we get to find out if it's just, oh, we're playing these domestic tournaments, so we don't really give a fuck as much because who knows when the major is going to be, or if they're actually getting pushed. And I think what you were saying before, Alexi, about like Simple Shiro, this is like Navi are going to come out with something to prove, right? There's all this hype around these other CIS teams. They're kind of losing a little bit of the spotlight. Do you think that's going to be motivation for them to run this one through?
Yeah, I think so completely. Yeah. Nothing else to say about it really, but no one wants to get away from the spotlight or be at the brink of falling, you know. So, yeah.
Do you think there's still a lot of this stuff, like you were mentioning land before, right? Now, for the Navi guys, a lot of the players they're going up against, other than say like Hobbit, for example, SDY, maybe he's played a couple of extra lands compared to some of those other names in there. Do you think they have that kind of thought that they're going up against the onliners of their region? Like, do you think that, because I know that thought with some players kind of still exists. Do you think that Navi might have that considering the type of players they are?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think it's like you know, let's say you lose a clutch situation, maybe it's official, maybe it's practice. I wouldn't be surprised if they would say something like a onliner or something. But it's kind of a joke as well. It's
Yeah.
kind of like to get your team to laugh about it or something, to kind of have a
Dari Golden Lamian, yaitu extra spicy beef lamian. Kaldunya itu creamy, gurih, dan berasa ayamnya guys. By the way, ini kaldunya dari ayam ya, yang direbus selama 12 jam, bagian-bagian yang penuh lemaknya.
have a easier time. So if you lose a clutch or some shit, so it's and reminding your teammates and you as well about what you are capable of doing online, and maybe it brings your confidence up. But I think it is because let's say I would play on a Finnish team, and there would be a Finnish team who's never played on LAN, never played on any Finnish LANs, for example, and just coming up to us and beating everyone or whatever. Like, I would be the same maybe.
Sure. Yeah. No, there's always that little bit of a thought, right? Which side of the bracket do you think is harder? The Gambit Navi into Spirit, or the VP Astralis into Liquid side?
Say the first one.
Gambit Navi to Spirit.
Wait, what did you ask me?
Well, because it's Gambit versus Navi the quarters, and then
Yeah.
Spirit already waiting in the semi-final, right? So
Yeah.
that's that side, the top side of the bracket there.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see the top side if that's what you're asking. Like, the top side is more interesting to me right now.
All right. So we're a bit over the Astralis Liquid kind of storylines right there. I think that like that test, if it gets painted as that, like Navi's having to beat their little brothers away to go to their throne, right? That they're defending from last year. That's kind of a cool one. And if we get the Astralis final, and that's when we get into a best of 5, we don't have any Vertigo, we don't have any Mirage. Map pool's actually pretty good between Navi and Astralis. Like, that would be kind of a cool storyline to see at the end there.
Yeah.
So who do you think is going to be the overall winner at the moment, Striker, if you had to pick from what you've seen? It's hard, right?
It is hard, especially like if Navi
losing those games.
If Navi did.
We lost him. He's frozen. I think Striker's gone. Well, he's talking about Navi. I'll pivot to you then, Alexi. Who do you think is going to win from what you've seen if you had to pick one?
It's so hard to say because I think I went with Astralis when I got asked about it previously.
Yeah.
But then Astralis lost quite convincingly. Now I'm just thinking that do Gambit or VP have it in them to just take the whole tournament home? But then I'm just thinking, when it comes to final and best of 5, thinking which of the teams like VP and Navi, like VP, Navi, and Gambit have the best map pool, because I kind of feel like Navi in a best of 5 is, if they win the first map, for example, they can just have simple going off on every map and just win by that,
Sure.
But then if it's Astralis, usually known by having a deep playbook on all of the maps, and they kind of have the same thing as with if they win the first map in a best of 5. I don't think they've ever lost, right? So if Astralis gets to the final, they're gonna win.
Okay.
But if not, the winner of VP, the winner of Navi Gambit is gonna win.
All right. Okay. Holy shit.
I didn't pick one team. I just
I like that.
my thought.
No, that's the thing, right? It's really hard to pick it. We always go with like a stab in the dark. On broadcast, on the first day, we had a thing where we all had to write down who we thought was going to be the winner, like the overall winner. I think we're probably going to open that on the Sunday here. Striker might be rejoining us in a moment as well.
Yep. Hello.
Now, you were saying if Navi, you just missed what Alexi was saying, Striker, which was basically giving us pitches on either side of the bracket. If Astralis makes the final, they're going to win, and if not, the winner of Gambit Navi is going to win the thing. So where were you going?
Sorry, who? What? How did it go?
It gave multiple options, right? If Astralis make the final, they're going to win. But if not, the winner of Gambit Navi is going to win.
Oh, okay.
Who are you got?
That's interesting. I was starting to explain what my thinking was, but before I even heard you say that we lost Striker. But then I just dropped.
You were holding on.
Yeah, I was saying that if Navi didn't lose to Liquid, then I'd say them.
Mm.
Maybe it's just down to the matchup, just because Liquid have historically been really, really hard for them. So I think that has a lot to do with it. So maybe I'm still edging towards Navi at this point, I guess, just because of that.
It's the safest bet. Like Navi Australis is like the safest bet, right? You just get out of jail free card right there.
I think
Or-
Navi has just been in a sick form, and I don't want one match in a potentially really tough matchup to sway my thinking there. And they literally just lost it by, like, in double overtime as well.
Yeah.
True. All right. Do we have any other questions coming in here, Striker? I'm trying to see, because we're getting towards the tail end of the show right now. Trying to see if there's anything else in this document we had here. We've covered off most of this stuff. We spoke about if you're going to get back to a Finnish team at some point, if you'd like to. We spoke about the 6-man roster. There's one question here from a guy called Rambo. And he says, since the fans only determine if a player is good or not by looking at their 2-0 rating, who do you think is the most underrated player by this? Like, who do you think, because of that rating, goes under the radar with their impact? Or do you think the rating from HLTV is actually pretty good in determining who are the good players?
I mean, you spoke about Sanji. It's
Yeah.
a player that I haven't looked on too much, but I can just say, like TCN, for example,
Yeah.
when Big was playing really good online, TCN was going under the radar because of his stats. But when you watch the guy, it's like an ideal guy, because if no one in the team, listen to me. There's 5 players, and let's say you give a site, or CT side does 2, for example. CT side does 2 is a good example of TCN. He goes too long and he holds long. Okay? If you give it to someone, he can do it however he wants to. But TCN plays it differently. Like, he knows every piece of equipment, and he can throw this equipment to throw you off, that you might think there might be no one long, and suddenly Surson is there to watch you. Or he might think that they took long with 2 or 3 guys, but in reality he just threw all of his util and timed them well and just fakes you out, right? Or he's saving his equipment, which is the most annoying part, where he just doesn't throw anything unless you go and actually fight him. And it's something a lot of the teams are like, it's hard to do, because you are relying on them kind of smoking long, taking long, and you're playing your default. But then the long player is telling you all the time, like, he's not smoking long. Like, what are we gonna, like, am I gonna go and challenge him? Because the op could be watching me, you know? So this kind of player brings so much to the whole game. So the T's have to adapt on this kind of player who plays CTs like this. And on T side, I'm pretty sure he knows all of the nades, helps Tapsen, because whatever Tapsen calls, he's insta throwing the nade, you know? And I'm pretty sure at one point, like, he was really good at clutching. So I think on every team, when you watch, there is one guy who's usually like this. Or any really good team, I feel like. They always have this type of player. They always go under the radar. But then let's assume that would be a guy that is just completely fragging out, right? Or like a guy with 1.1 rating, let's say. He would go there CT long, and he would do the most normal thing, that smoking long. Then he doesn't have a smoke. Then after, he's getting flashed by 3 flashes, dying, and suddenly he has excuses that he doesn't feel comfortable at playing long because he can't play his fights, you know? But you just need to have a different type of mentality and a different type of player to play these spots. And even if you go under the radar, I'm hoping his team gives him credit, you know? And many teams, like you said, Sanchi, and I could say, watch every single HLTV team and say someone, for example, Amanek on G2. I think these players are quite necessary to have what it takes to be a top 5, top 10 contender.
Who
Like
is
an
it for you
RPK.
guys?
Well, it's hard to say because our dynamic is a bit different, but because of maybe the way I micromanage, it could it can be also because the way I might word stuff going out of the base about telling a guy to throw this equipment, right? So it kind of already changes up the round a bit. But I guess in our team, Valde is the guy who I rely on mostly on this, and he's really good at playing these mind games with his utility. So I guess it's Valde in our team, but Valde is kind of the star player at the same time. So
Overloading the roles right there, mate.
Mm.
All right. We got one here as well that I might want to ask. This one is from Yuna. And it says Alexi mentioned in an interview, maybe with Thorin, I'm not sure, that he really doesn't want to make changes to the team if he can avoid it or something along those lines. When does he think it's necessary to do some changes? And you mentioned at the top of the show that you're having conversations at the moment with the team going forward. So that question right there, is that more because I obviously don't have the context of when you gave that answer. Is that more like if it's personality issues you can't get over, or as if it's like results just aren't going and things have to be changed, or a little bit of both, maybe?
Could be a little bit of both, but obviously we're not naive here.
Mm.
We ended the last year number 6. We thought that this could be the break and having a fresh mindset coming into this year. We could be really sick, and let's say we would have played a decent Blast tournament, and or got into the Blast finals and maybe gotten out of the groups here in Katowice, we would watch OG in a whole different light. But since we failed all of the tournaments, now we're here kind of bashing on us, which is reasonable. But all I'm saying is that it also came out of the blue for us that we actually could play this bad. So that's why I said at the start of the show that we're going through discussions, we're going through what to do next, kinda, and what to set the next goal, the blah blah blah. You get the point. But is that I'm not completely ignoring that we will never do a roster change. Like that doesn't go to any team that actually wants to win.
Mm.
All I'm saying is that our vision, it's not even 3 months to the year, and our vision wasn't like this when we started this year. I mean, who would want to only think about the worst case scenario, which we're in right now? So we're thinking about it, and we're trying to get everyone's thoughts in.
Okay.
What about what kind of goals did you set up when this team came together? Did you have like some sort of a timeline where you thought like, okay, we would want to be, I don't know, a top 10 team by this point?
Yes, I'm in a top 10 team, but then when you think about it, in 1 year, a completely new team without, I could say, proven actual like top 20 players. Balde was there, right? I mean, Nathan has been there obviously in the past, but not
Right.
like in the recent years, just now. So it's, and I got kicked off of ends. So a lot of questions, right? But when you think about it, that um,
I mean, I
how
agree
am I
that it
gonna
is an
approach
impressive
it?
feat for
So
a
it's
new
like,
team.
yeah, it's exactly like if we top 6 with 1 year is really good, and it's something we tried to achieve, and we actually did. But we also wanted a trophy. For example, we wanted more finals appearances, and we got 2 finals appearances, and we got 0 trophies. So on that department, we didn't deliver. But at least something went right. So when this year started, and the goals for this year were obvious, that we would stay in the top 10, battle for the top 5, and get a trophy. But the year has started horribly, so there's nothing else to say.
Right.
All right.
I mean, the only team that's kind of comparable to you guys in this is Complexity, pretty much.
They've been in a similar timeline, right? They started a little bit later, at least
They're
with
just
them in
about the
Europe.
same time, right? Like
Yeah,
they were literally competing
maybe-
for the same players.
Yeah, maybe a month or 2 earlier or later, because they signed Blamef, if I'm not mistaken.
Like in
And
September or something. Yeah,
then
and
they
then
started to sign people, but at least they broke into the top 5, and they won Blast finals, right?
Yeah.
So I guess for their goals, I'm pretty sure they exceeded their goals, or like at least got into their goals.
All right. Well, we just hit 10 o'clock on the nose right there. So, Lexi, thank you for joining us. Now, I want to give you opportunity right now if you want to say anything to the people at home, the fans, even the people who were, you were just talking to the people getting on you a little bit. Is there anything you
Yeah.
want to say?
I mean, at this point, I guess the most general thing everyone always says is like, thank you for supporting, and I hope we will be better. But trust me, like, we're taking all of this stuff into consideration. I think you, Sponge, and the Striker chimed in on a couple of things that I didn't even think about too much. So thanks for that. But overall, I think I'm glad I was able to join this. I wanted to join this previously as well, and I think it's good contrast as well that I came here where we are in a deep slope with the team, because many times it's like I would be here and OG would be doing fine, and we're praising OG, praising
maybe
this,
at the end of
praising that.
last year, you know,
So it's
yeah.
kind of like a good contrast as well to to also be here where I have to actually think about some stuff I might have did wrong, or stuff, because it's what can also happen after this, and what already happened is like I already got a thing or two out of this talk, whereas let's say we would have been doing fine, maybe I wouldn't have anything to go out of,
Yeah. All right. That's a really positive mindset right there. That's a good way to tackle life, All right. I like that one. That's a nice note to leave it on, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you once again for everybody tuning in. Unfortunately, Prof wasn't with us. He was sick. Hopefully he's better for next week. If everything goes to plan, I assume we'll have a show next Monday. We were talking to 2 people to potentially be guests. I'll follow through with them and we'll see who we have lined up for next Monday. But yeah, it was great having Alexi on. This was fantastic. Really got some deep insights here this evening. So this has been episode 28. Anchor.fm/HLTV for the audio only options, and the VOD should be up within 24 to 48 hours on YouTube. Check that one out. And thank you for being here again. I think I was so tired that tonight I didn't even go off on any swearing rants. Strike, I don't think I even managed to get a single C bomb.
The bingo is not complete.
Yeah, we kept it pretty tame tonight. So yeah, thanks boys, and see everybody next time.
Thank you.
Saya belum berani bang. Coba bang Reja.
Temukan peluang-peluang baru dengan platform trading Binomo. Binomo, mitra trading Anda yang jujur.
Widih, Assalamualaikum.
Kita langsung jalan.
Ayo. Tapi takutnya ntar ini di sini ada sesuatu bang. Iya, takutnya ada apa gitu.
Anjir.
Balik lagi.
Biasanya ada yang gedor-gedor soalnya.
Ini kita main point blank aja bang. Nih bang ada suara-suara gitu bang. Ini takutnya dari pintu ini nih bang.
Kamar mayat nih.
Ah jangan bang.
Ini kamar mayat nih.
Enggak bukan itu bang.
Iya ini morg tulisannya, morg
Iya,
gue.
tapi bukan di situ tempatnya, udah jangan dibuka bang, ngeri itu.
Mary Ann. Nah ini tempatnya Mary nih.
Mana?
Di sini. Komputer kali, komputer lagi. Buang aja.
Mary, mainnya jeger, betul.
Gue takut dikagetin nih kayak kemarin.
Mary, ada sidik jarinya bang tuh.
Oh, kita cari di komputer. Dia barusan reply ke sini katanya. Oke, lo udah ke koridor. Dan lo harus lakuin adalah tunggu, dia bilang. Tunggu bentar. Oh, dikagetin nih. There's something wrong with Mary. Oh, ada yang salah dengan Mary katanya. Dia kesakitan katanya.
Ini Mary-nya orang kan sih?
Habis main futsal dia.
Iya, keseleo.
Dia nggak pernah kesakitan kayak gitu ya. Terus?
Kenapa dia?
Di dalam koridor, lo bakal lihat sebuah ruangan, sebuah kamar. What's the room number? Oke, nomor berapa aja? Kamarnya Emily nomor berapa?
Kamarnya Mary.
Iya, kamarnya
bilang
Mary.
ke gua berapa?
Masa si Sarah kagak tahu, kan dia tahu si Mary ada di situ.
Room 378.
378.
Strip bang, ada stripnya bang.
Bisa nih kayaknya. Salah. 3 strip.
Strip 78.
Yes, betul.
Apa itu kata dia?
Ruangannya Mary dia bilang. Dia agak takut sama Mary. Dia acting aneh. Dia sangat depresi. Cara buat passwordnya adalah check in date, hari dan bulan. Oke, jadi password buat ke kamar Mary itu adalah hari dan bulan dia masuk ke sini. Informasinya adalah ini nih.
16 Mei. Apa? Ini kan
Iya.
suratnya. Kagak ada lagi tanggal.
16 Mei, 16.05. Yuk, let's go.
16.
Buah duluan, Buah.
Tapi abang yang mencet ya?
Iya, iya.
Silakan bang. Bisa lah bang. Coba lihat lagi ya.
Bukan tanggal masuknya. Iya.
Tanggal sekarang kali bang.
Enggak. Si Mary itu diserahin kapan?
Kita udah nemuin clipboardnya, tapi pas diketik itunya tidak bisa.
16.
Coba kalian lihat di clipboard di bawah telepon.
Di bawah telepon.
Itu adalah
Oh, salah.
hari check-in Mary.
Oh, ini.
Kalian harus menemukan tanggal check-in Mary di rumah sakit ini.
Oh, ini Mary. Gimana cara bacanya, Jak? 1 hari, 10 hari. Lama dia masuk itu 13 hari. Bulan 5. Berarti dia masuknya kapan? Oh, gua tahu, gua pintar sekali.
Apa ya bang?
Pintar sekali gua. Surat itu bilang dia diserahkan tanggal 16. Dia masuk ke sini itu 13, udah 13 hari. Berarti dia masuk tanggal 3, enggak?
Ih kayaknya ditambah bang. 29.
Yes. Buah, lu buka Buah.
Wah.
Gantian kan gue yang
Bang,
pencet.
tadi mah saya yang mencet
Kan gue yang
aja.
pencet.
Bang.
Hah? Harus langsung dibuka. Ayo, langsung dibuka.
Bang, abang gua yang mencet deh bang. Abang, gua yang mencet ya. Berapa tadi? Bang, saya takut.
Anjir lah. Ayo bantu dong.
Bang, ngeri.
Masuk. Sumpah gue takut banget.
Bang,
Buah.
Bang, masalahnya bang, dia lagi tiduran, takutnya gua. Coba abang dulu bang, saya di belakang.
Gua bukain dah, masuk berdua.
Ayo.
Mana masuk berdua ya?
2, 3, ayo Buah.
1, 2, 3. Ayo masuk guys. Ada jalan.
Mati cuy. Mati doi, mati.
Ngeri banget musiknya.
Gua masuk takut. Boy, bareng-bareng Buah. Buah bareng-bareng.
Ngapain, Bang?
Apa dia?
Biar kameranya bagus.
Ya, biar gambarnya bagus
Coba,
dia.
Bang.
Biar gambarnya bagus dia. Ini serem banget sih.
Asli bang, ini mah. Kita harus ngapain? Bang, saya kagak berani asli ini mah.
Nggak tahu ini apa nih. Perhaps this might be. Si Reza udah kuda-kuda aja. Ini mungkin bisa berguna. Apa ini?
Tolong.
Ini apa sih?
Perhaps this.
Mayatnya.
Bukan, ini engsel. Semacam engsel.
Coba ini ada buku harus dibuka kali ya?
Bang, jangan dibuka dong. Kalau dibuka dia ngejar kita. Mohon maaf, Bang.
Ini ada ininya nih.
Tuh.
Oh ini buat
Enggak beda. Ini kotak ya, Ja? Ini kotak ya, apa sih?
Ini tuh si Mary, Bang. Itu apa putih?
Enggak, ini apa nih?
kayak jeruji.
Bukan.
Si Mary.
Kayak nama-nama gitu loh.
Coba. Ayam. Ini apa ini bahasa Inggrisnya artinya apa?
Ini mungkin ini berguna. Mungkin.
Oh, kisi-kisinya di sini.
Perhatikan center kalian.
Bener.
Mary tidak suka dengan keterangan.
Oh.
Dan sekarang coba kalian perhatikan pada kertas yang ada di ruangan Mary.
Kertas ruangan Mary ini.
Dan harus berhati-hati karena Mary tidak suka dengan penerangan di ruangan tersebut.
Aduh, Bang, ribet dah. Bang, matiin senternya dulu.
Ya udah dari mati.
Segitu.
Yang kalian dapatkan di ruangan tersebut ada hubungannya dengan papan yang berada di ujung lorong.
Ini.
Apa ujung?
Ya kan, bener kan? Oh itu dia. Engselnya mana aja? Tapi apa hubungannya sama center ya?
Ini.
Oh iya, gambarnya ini.
Bener kan papan?
Kayaknya didorong ke samping kali.
Iya ya? Oh iya.
Nah, kan?
Pinter loh buat.
Iya dong, Bang. Saya kan juara 11. Nah, ngapain dah? Ini buat
Kayaknya kita pakai ininya deh.
Buat?
Buat
Bangunin Mary.
nih. Mary, bangun Mary.
Mary tidak suka.
Center.
Coba.
Ini nih ada. Nggak ada apa-apa.
Coba masukin lubang.
Udah. Oke, kita coba buat mengait sesuatu kali.
Coba. Kita sudah memasang mekanisme itu, terus digunain buat apa ya?
Coba amatin kamar Mary.
Oh ya, buat
Kalian harus mengambil satu dokumen yang berada pada kamar Mary tanpa mengganggu dia.
ambil ini nih.
Saya ulangi, tanpa mengganggu Mary.
Tanpa apa?
Tanpa mengganggu Mary. Berarti jangan pakai center, Bang. Ngambil.
Buat ngambil nih, buat. Aja lo yang ngambil aja. Tangan lo panjang itu, papan itu. Papan itu.
Papan itu, Bang. Masalahnya mohon maaf di atas pala pisang. Saya ambil.
Bisa aja.
Ayo Bang Reja. Ayo. Bang Reja semangat. Ayo bisa, Bang. Gua pegangin.
Kaitnya diambil. Kan ada benang tuh.
Bismillah.
Semangat ya.
Semangat, Bang. Semangat.
Ada ketekan banget.
Bang, katanya jangan ganggu Mary, Bang.
Oh iya makasih.
Ya dari paling kiri aja.
Dari sini, Bang, ujung-ujung. Sini nih, ujung.
Sini ya.
Iya. Kayak itu.
Gila tegang banget.
Oh, Mama bapaknya siapa? Aduh.
Enggak. Gua di sini. Enggak gua tutup.
Ini belum bayar listrik ya? Lampunya kedap-kedip. Ayam Mary bapaknya. Bisa, Bang? Tarik itunya, Bang.
Serem banget.
Ayam!
Aja. Aji, biar, diam. Hilang anjir.
Ya udah aman nih.
Get out of your force before Mary hurts anybody like she did to herself.
Ambil aja.
Ambil, buru-buru.
Anjir, bisa kayak gitu ya?
Segala bergegas, Bang.
Apa?
Bang, segala bergegas. Bang, asli disuruh bergegas.
Bisa. Coba gua. Ditahan deh.
Bang, suruh bergegas nih, Bang.
Iya, bentar.
Ayo, saya jagain. Ayam!
Apaan tuh?
Ya, Mary nyamperin ke sini ya. Ya.
Apa itu?
Mary di sebelah sana, belakang abang. Aduh bang, gimana ini bang?
Ayo bang, bentar dulu.
Tarik itunya bang, yang bolong-bolongannya.
Bisa, gua bisa.
Ya jatuh bang.
Disenggol bang.
Tarik bang. Aduh bang, saya deg-degan sih baru kali ini.
I have to get out before Mary hurts anybody like she did to herself.
Pelan-pelan.
Apa tuh katanya? Tadi dia ngebruk-gebruk ini asli. Tuh baca.
Belum. Nggak mau, Mary itu nggak mau ngomong. Dia kalau jawab hanya jawaban yang sedikit. Dia nggak beresponsif sama sekali. Dia juga menyakiti dokter sama nurses sama suster. Kita harus suntik dia supaya dia tenang.
Siapa yang nyuntik tuh?
Wah, saya nggak berani
Kapan
sih.
tadi?
Saya nggak bisa bang.
Nggak, maksudnya dia lagi cerita. Itu disuntik. Terus tapi kita menemukan hal-hal ini terjadi di waktu yang sama setiap harinya. Dia mungkin dia mencoba mengkomunikasikan sesuatu di jam-jam itu. Tapi jam berapa? Jam berapa ya?
Oh iya bang. Kan bang. Bang, saya asli bang. Bang, jangan pakai senter. Kita sudah mendapatkan ini dokumen yang tadi yang disuruh yang di Palamere ya. Bang, saya kagak ngerti bahasa Inggris dia.
Mary mencoba berkomunikasi di jam yang sama setiap harinya.
Kalian sudah benar. Cobalah kalian perhatikan jam yang berada pada ujung lorong koridor. Mary mencoba berkomunikasi dengan jam. Cobalah kalian lihat jam-jam tersebut. Apakah jam tersebut membentuk huruf?
Oh, jam yang di papan ini.
Iya.
Oke. Ada yang bawa jam analog nggak?
Jam analog.
Jam analog tuh.
Jam 3. Jam 3 itu kayak C ya?
L.
Itu apa tuh?
L.
Jam 3 L bang.
Hah?
3L.
Jam 3 L. Dia coba mengkomunikasikan sesuatu di jam-jam yang ada insidennya. Ini insidennya adalah jam 3. Apakah jam ini membentuk huruf? Ini gimana cara kita menerjemahkan ini jadi huruf
Atau
gitu?
gini bang. Suget.
Oke, baik. Oke.
Oh digambar.
C.
C. Ya benar.
Ya, oke. Ini.
L.
Oh, ini L.
Iya, L.
Terus ini?
14.20. Gini. Tapi
Jam
gua
berapa
nggak tahu
begini?
jam ketika berapa?
Ketika 15.
Terus?
Eh,
17.25.35.
M.
Lem.
Korea.
Lem terus 11.05. 55.
11.
W.
11.
W.
Ya.
Ya, W.
Lem W. Terus?
Lem.
Temukan peluang-peluang baru dengan platform trading Binomo. Binomo, mitra trading Anda yang jujur.
Lemwi.
Salah.
Musiknya yang bikin deg-degan teh.
Masa salah sih?
Mas, apa benar kodenya Lemwe?
Itu apa? Itu bukan lu.
M dan huruf W kalian salah.
Kalian
Huruf M dan W kalian salah.
M dan W-nya salah.
LE sama E belakang bener. Tengahnya yang salah.
Coba kita cek lagi. Yuk cek lagi. Yang salah tengahnya. M dan W.
Ayam.
Itu tadi apa tapi? Sumpah deh.
Bang, duluan bang.
Belum.
55 apa berapa? 35 Dil.
35 di bawah dong.
Ayam bapaknya ngegubrak. Aduh bang, saya deg-degan banget nih.
Lea. Terus? 11 05. Ini kan 11.
11.
Iya,
05.
11.05 kan udah begini nih.
Oh, terus oh iya, oke.
Pas balik nih ya.
Oh iya, benar. Kita diusir sama Mary.
Oh, ya udah ya pergi.
Oh, Mary bipolar. Sekarang dia udah merasuki pikirannya Mary.
Pas di belakang dulu.
Itu ada yang buka, ada yang buka, ada yang buka, ada yang buka, ada yang buka. Keluar, doi, keluar.
Asli.
Anjir.
Asli bang, takut.
Anjir.
Sometimes she can be my sweet.
Enggak.
Sweet Mary. Sometimes she can be pure evil.
Bukan bang sih bang.
Harus lari.
Harus lari kah?
Go into the morgue.
Bang saya nggak bisa bang.
Pergi ke kamar mayat. Ayo.
Ke kamar mandi.
Kamar mayatnya belum dibuka.
Iya, kuncinya nggak ada.
Bang saya balik lagi aja bang. Takut lah.
Udah mulai nyerah.
Saya kalau ngelari nggak bisa
Oh,
bang.
hati-hati sekarang Mary-nya berkeliaran.
Bang saya nggak bisa lari. Saya nggak bisa lari bang. Saya mau pulang.
Dia bisa di mana aja katanya.
Bang saya mau balik lagi ya. Bang mau balik lagi ya.
Enggak.
Bang mau balik lagi. Nggak mau.
Gua nyerah nih.
Bang.
Aman.
Dia nggak bakal nyentuh.
Iya.
Bang,
Abang, kenapa? Ya udah mau keluar.
Nggak bisa lari.
Enggak lari, bukan disuruh lari, cuman
Silakan kalian lanjutkan. Ingat, di dalam sini semuanya hanyalah efek. Tidak ada yang nyata. Silakan kalian lanjutkan.
tuh,
Sudah hampir berhasil.
hampir berhasil. Nggak ada yang nyata di sini. Ya, hati-hati.
Saya nggak bisa lari masalahnya.
Enggak disuruh lari,
Jangan di belakang.
Nggak disuruh lari. Dia cuman bilang, hati-hati, sekarang Mary ada di sini. Ayo.
Ini udah kunci semua kan?
Udah.
Ini bisa dibuka Bil. Ini bisa dibuka.
Ya abang.
Oh, ada dari dalam.
Abang nggak mau, abang takut. Nggak ada lagi.
Bukan dari kunci yang ini kayaknya. Kayak kita salah, Boh. Bukan dari kunci yang ini. Ada yang berubah semenjak Mary keluar ya. Coba. Oh, itu dia. Gua nggak mau narik ya. Itu ada tali. Ada tali, sumpah.
Harus meminta obat.
Ada tali.
Minta obat?
Apa?
Harus minta obat?
Harus minta obat buat apa ya bang?
Oh.
Abang. Minta obat.
Kalian harus meminta sebuah obat pada medicine pickup tersebut. Obat tersebut bisa digunakan agar Mary tidak mengganggu kalian. Medicine pickup?
Iya.
Iya sih.
Nama obat?
Ayam bang. Aduh ngeri banget. Bang.
Anjir.
Aduh ya Allah, astagfirullah. Auzubillahiminasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Isinya apa?
Ngambil obat.
Saya minta obat.
Iya.
Minta obat di sini buat nenangin si Mary. Biar nggak ngeganggu kita. Gimana kita cara tahu obatnya?
Kalian akan menemukan sesuatu di dalam obat.
Oh, udah ada kuncinya. Ya, nomor.
Kamar mayat.
Aduh.
Orang main nggak pakai senter coba.
Gimana? Itu buka.
Mau buka?
Gua ngintip. Aman. Oh, generator.
Apa itu? Bang jangan pakai kunci bang.
Harus ada satu lagi di ruang Mary, harus ada yang di situ.
Oh, buat buka ini. Nih, apa ini?
The door that wakes in darkness, opening into nightmare.
Ya Allah, dengkul saya udah lemes banget ini. Gimana kagak pakai senter?
Nih.
Oh, didongkrak. Buat ngebuka apaan?
Ada mur nggak? Ada mur.
Ya.
Iya, kami dapat kunci bengkel. Iya ini biasanya
Iya.
montir yang make. Kunci apa nih bang? Aduh bang.
Mary nggak suka disenterin. Oh itu nyala, udah bisa.
Iya bang, iya. Ini di sini, suruh dibuka.
Ya, buka aja. Buka.
Suruh dibuka bang. Mary bapaknya siapa? Ayam bapaknya. Aduh si
Apa?
Mary.
Ketemu ya?
Apa?
Oh ya bisa dibuka nih, kita bisa ke dalam.
Bang, saya takut tapi
You
bang.
have to get out of here fast before Mary hurts anybody like she did to herself.
Bang apa nih bang?
Harus keluar dari sini cepat sebelum Mary nyakitin orang gitu.
Bang, saya takut bang.
Enggak. Udah, bisa dibuka.
Ayo bang Jak.
Sumpahnya kayak
Bang,
gitu.
seriusan bang udah saya keluar ya.
Nyerah juga kayak Pandu.
Nah bang saya.
Bisa.
Enggak ada.
Oh, telepon.
Ayam bapaknya Mary, iya.
Gojek aplikasi ini kan sesuai aplikasi.
Apa nih? Tuh, denger.
Udah ayo.
Dia bisa dengar langkah kita, dia bilang.
Ayo kesana. Ayo kesana bang. Ayo.
Ada loker. Ada yang buat belakang.
Satu kebuka. Itu apa sih, Bill?
Bang, udah bang.
Ada yang kebuka bang. Oh ini kuncinya nih.
Bisa nggak bang? Nyala bang.
Kartu tuh bang. Buka aja salah satu bang.
Mary di sini.
Pakai apa?
Itu tapi kunci kamu mau kunci ya?
Enggak, bukan.
Oh kan.
Apa ini? Coba bang.
Bohong. Mana?
Kanan di pojok.
Anjir.
Coba.
Ah bang.
Bawa sini, bawa. Lihat lihat buah.
Nggak mau.
Enggak, buah. Sini.
Nggak mau.
Hah? Gila. Anjir bang, mas gua.
Udah bang. Aduh ya Allah.
Apa?
Dikit lagi bang.
Bang, takut
Lemes
bang.
banget parah. Gua nggak lihat tadi.
Takut saya ngeliat rambut seriusan.
There's one more left.
Udah nggak ada.
Gila lemes banget.
Bang, lemes bang.
I need all the help I can get.
Tadi mana?
Apa?
Oh, komputer.
Oh komputer.
Ah bang, lemes ah.
Dia tahu kalian di mana. Dia sekarang datang buat kita semua. Cepat ngumpet di dalam kamar mayat.
Duh bang, udah lemes banget bang. Saya itu keluar ya bang, aduh.
Ke kamar mayat kali kita sekarang.
Ada 6 digit.
6 digit terakhir. Paski buat Mort. Ayo, kita suruh ngumpet di situ. Mary datang dia bilang. Mary datang.
Bang. Di sini. Ah, bang. Bang, tutup kali, bang. Tutup ya.
Jangan tutup.
Lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. Man zal ladzi yashfa'u indahu illa bi idznih. Ya'lamu ma baina aydihim wa ma khalfahum. Wa la yuhituna bi syai'in min ilmihi illa bima syaa. Wasi'a kursiyyuhu samawati wa ma fil ard. Allahu Akbar, ya Allah, udah lemes banget, Bang. Apa isinya, Bang?
Mayat.
Mayat?
Ada kertas tuh, Bang.
Harus ada yang dikorbanin.
Nggak mau, Bang.
Harus ada yang masuk.
Ada tulisannya.
Itu.
Oh, saya ngambil.
Oh, ini dia. Ada dua.
Bentar.
Ya, gimana lagi? Reza bawa lah. Apa gua lu? Tapi nggak ada yang ngambil gambar.
Gua aja.
Harus satu-satu.
Jika kalian sudah menentukan 2 orang teman kalian untuk menuju ke ruangan selanjutnya, perhatikan instruksi pada kertas yang kalian temukan di ruangan tersebut. Itu menunjukkan sebuah posisi yang benar pada ruangan mayat tersebut.
Ah, Bang.
Oke, ya udah. Coba Reza dulu deh. Terus gimana?
Ini kita berempat, terus gimana?
Kalian memerlukan bantuan setelah kami, jadi setelah kami akan masuk ke sana untuk membantu kalian.
Yaudah, boleh.
Ya boleh ya. Ya boleh deh. Kita berempat soalnya.
Iya, Bang. Saya takut, Bang.
Sekarang kami akan ke sana untuk sekedar menemani kalian.
Oke. Nah, tadi sebenarnya dihitung 5 pas ada Puput ya.
Iya,
Jadi mereka
ada
nyiapinnya udah 5 ya.
Aduh, ya Allah.
Oh. Nah tuh, dadah.
Halo, Bang. Abang tuh bapaknya jatuh ya, Abang bapaknya jatuh.
Ini harus berlima.
Iya.
Oh, jadi gimana?
Jadi yang di sini harus 2 orang. Nanti ada ruangan selanjutnya.
Oke, jadi masnya yang di sini atau yang
Iya,
ikut?
di sini aja.
Oh ya udah.
Terbaik, Mang.
Iya.
Mamang hebat dah, Bang.
Bisa.
Ya, jadi nanti yang ini
Ah, yang bapaknya ketutup, Bang. Siapa itu yang?
lebih kayak yang sebelumnya, jadi kita harus gitu.
Oke,
Iya.
oke, baik.
Berpisah ini berarti, Bang.
Iya.
Tadi mana?
Posisi tangan kalian harus pada bentuk posisi tubuh yang benar.
Oh, ini Bang Reja berarti yang salah. Abang ini benar.
Masukkanlah kaki terlebih dahulu. Kemudian
Kebalik ya.
Balik kaki.
Kebalik ya, kebalik.
Kaki dulu.
Iya.
Iya, Bang. Oh, baru bisa kekunci pakai kalau ini ya.
Iya.
kalian sudah pada posisi yang benar, ingat.
Sudah, Bang, sudah. Coba kita tutup.
Dah.
Oh iya, langsung keras. Keren banget ya. Terus setelah itu ini kita kemana, Bang? Bang, tutup, Bang. Astagfirullah, la haula wala quwata illa billah. Nggak tahu, Bang. Bang.
Kalian berkomunikasi. Berkomunikasilah dengan teman-teman kalian yang berada di dalam.
Ja. Ja.
Bang Reja.
Ja. Reza.
Bang Reja di mana, Bang?
Ja.
Someone from the computer can wait. I will be able to get.
Ya. Ayo Mary udah Mary. Si itu di komputer.
Password yang mana?
Ayo.
Password yang mana? Ini. Atau ini?
Ini nih. Bareng dong.
Ayo, Bang.
Bareng dong.
Bang.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Sini. Udah.
Udah.
Buka.
Udah apa-apa enggak?
Enggak.
Hello? Any doctor? Any nurse right there? Any anybody?
Apa katanya?
Ini di sini bisa buka semua pintu.
Tapi nggak bisa. Ini kali.
Ya, kita harus mencar dong itu juga.
Reja!
Bang Reja.
Ya.
Bang Reja.
Lo di bawah. Ada petunjuk apa?
All generators deactivated in this hospital. That's wrong.
Ada generator nggak? Nomor di? Udah, tadi kita udah bisa masuk pakai itu. Ada generator yang bisa diputar nggak? Oh, oke, satu-satu.
Terus pertama di kamar Mary. Pertama di kamar Mary.
Berarti bukan dari sini. Ayo kita bawa.
Oh, oke. Lo puter nyala nggak? Lampunya. Oke.
Kamar
oke.
Mary.
Oke.
Kita harus putar.
Coba kita coba ini.
Nggak bisa.
Counter clockwise ke sini.
Masih mati. Berarti ini ketiga, Bang.
Ayo kita bawa.
Bukan. Oke.
Lalu Bang. Apa Bang katanya?
Nih bang.
Apa?
Kunci aktivasi.
Apa?
Kunci aktivasi.
Kunci aktivasi nih. Bang.
Oh, ini generator. Coba tahan.
Terus putar Bang. Udah Bang. Udah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nah, bisa udah op. Udah.
Ya, udah tinggal lu doang urutannya.
Aduh. Udah nyala belum generatornya?
Udah.
Ini. Ada apaan ini, Bang? Bang.
Hanya kita harus kemana? Coba.
Udah, Ja. Oke, udah nyala. Bentar. Lo bisa naik nggak? Bisa naik ya? Coba naik elevator ke sini.
Emang ini apa ini?
Ini lift.
Kalian harus menekan tombol yang ada di ruangan kalian.
Ini. Ini tekan terus, Bang.
Oh iya.
Bang,
Anjir, keren banget.
Itu Bang Reja.
Oh, Mas saya dulu. Oh, bukanya dari dalam.
Ya. Terus Bang Rejanya kapan? Ayah bapaknya tuh, Bang.
I've got to find another way out of here.
Bang, apaan itu?
Generatornya mati lagi.
There's one more left.
Harus menyelamatkan teman kalian. Ingatlah, carilah jalan lain. Sepertinya Mary tidak suka dengan kalian bertemu dengan teman-teman kalian. Cobalah cari petunjuk.
Layar hijau, siap. Bang tungguin, Bang Radit.
Kalau hal buruk terus terjadi ke orang yang baik, lu terus bertanya apa yang salah dan apa yang benar.
Maksudnya?
Nggak tahu.
Tunggu saya udah pada kopong ini, aduh.
Sekarang lo diam aja.
Udah 2 jam.
Suruh diem.
Sini aja.
Coba gua nanya lo kata salah.
Iya, nanya apa dia, ayo. Masa jangan jawab ujian UN. Bisa. Itu.
Salah nggak buat gua untuk merasa kalian enak buat dimainin? Kok malah Sarah yang jahat? Gimana kalau di sini agak lebih lama lagi nih? Mary dan gua bisa main sama kalian semua.
Nggak mau bang, jangan bang.
Kok malah dia yang jahat sih si Sarah ini? Gue pikir dia baik loh. Kita bisa jadi teman yang sangat baik.
Enggak ada.
Selamanya.
Enggak, bang, nggak mau. Bang, udah bang, ayo pulang, ya Allah. Bang,
Beneran takut gak sih?
bang, asli bang. Suruh main. Oh, by the way, apa tuh?
By the way.
Do you want apa tuh?
Mau ngeliat Sarah nggak?
Enggak mau, jangan, enggak.
Yes.
Bang, jangan bang, enggak, no.
Harus gitu,
no,
harus gitu.
No, bang.
Mau keluar nggak?
Bang, enggak mungkin dia ngeluarin kita, setan. Dia tuh setan, saya tahu. No. Bang, no bang. No bang.
Kalau nggak kita nggak keluar.
Enggak, dia tuh bukan ngeluarin kita. Dia setan.
Coba gue bilang yes, tapi kita mau keluar ya.
Iya.
Nah, coba.
Yes, yes. But.
Nah, kita lihat.
Bang, jangan bikin anu bang. Bah, kan bang, lemes bedah saya medah.
Dia nanya mau tahu rahasia nggak? Yes. Rahasia apa?
Bang, ini apaan nih bang? Sarah setan atau orang? Duh, bang.
Dia nggak pernah ke monitoring room. Maksudnya?
Aku nggak pernah.
Siapa sih Sarah ini?
Saya?
Gue pikir dia orang baik loh.
Dia jahat berarti ya? Aduh, bang.
Bagus deh.
Bang, ya Allah bang. Auzubillahiminasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, bang.
Selama ini gue di sini sama kalian.
Bang, nggak mau bang. Bang, jangan nongkrong, ntar kagak bisa lari.
Dia siapa?
Ada ruangan bang.
Hah? Apaan?
Ini ada orang.
Mana? Itu dia. Bawa.
Nggak mau.
Bawa itu. Bawa. Boleh, bawa.
Nggak mau.
Udah nggak ada.
Astagfirullahaladzim. Nggak pulang.
Itu apa sih?
Tuh, itu Sarah lu
Dia
bisa
dari
main.
tadi. Si Sarah dari tadi. Kampret.
Aduh, ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim. Aduh, lemes banget, bang. Aduh, bang, ya Allah, tahu kita dia minum susu dulu, bang.
Kenapa?
Aduh, bang, terus gimana? Ini. Udah, bang, jangan disenterin, nggak boleh.
Di mana sosok tersebut menunjukkan jalan kepada kalian.
Dia mau nunjuk.
Mungkin juga memang tahu kalian turut. Berhati-hatilah.
Maksudnya apa nih, bang? Bang Radit,
Ya udah pegang sini tangan gue. Ini darah di sini nih.
Bang! Bang, takut, bang.
Dia nunjukin apa?
Tadi dia nunjukin ke sono. Itu apa?
Oh iya. Udah ada darah dan nggak ada gemboknya. Tadi ada loh.
Oh. Lah, dicatat. Ayo.
Anjir bang. Follow the blood, ikuti jejak darah.
Bang, tolong saya, bang. Jangan. Astagfirullahaladzim. Auzubillahiminasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Angkat.
Bisa deh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahu Akbar. Ada es Iko.
Ada lampu JKT.
Iya, pedang Star Wars.
Yuk.
Bang Radit tungguin Boa.
Ayo.
Ini nggak ada.
Ini mana?
Apa?
Anybody?
Terus ini nanya lagi.
Belum.
Panik door. Ini.
Ini dari bawah.
Nggak tahu dari kaki.
Lo tadi jatuhnya dari bawah kan?
Iya dari bawah.
Sudah ketemu.
Sudah ketemu, terus kita ngapain nih?
sudah benar. Sekarang, ingatlah ruangan lift yang berada di atas. Ingatlah ruangan lift yang berada di atas.
Oh iya lift ya, iya.
Sebuah kotak yang tertulis. Dan kalian sekarang sudah menemukan kuncinya. Pergilah ke ruangan terakhir kalian pada lift bagian atas dan bukalah kotak tersebut.
Suruh bisa lagi ya?
Tinggal kita ke atas lagi bareng. Tapi,
Ini cuma bisa buat satu orang, Bang.
hah?
Cuma bisa buat satu orang.
Dan juga mati sih. Kita naik lagi.
Naik lagi.
Iya.
Dari mana?
Dari sini.
Hah? Balik lagi dari sini?
Iya. Ayo.
Wah, ini jauh banget.
Ya Allah. Astagfirullah.
Tadi ternyata setannya di situ dari tadi anjir. Di dalam situ. Tuh lihat tuh. I'm right here with you, Bang. Bener-bener. Ayo. Let's go.
Kemana?
Ke ruangan tadi.
Aduh ya Allah. Lemes banget, lemes kayak puasa 3 hari ini. Aduh. Kalau cuma buka Indomie mah minjem kuncinya di bengkel.
Bawa aja dari luar.
Iya, coba bisa Bang. Bawa dorong. Bener kan ini?
Keren.
Sesuai kembangnya, Bang.
Ini yang ngembangnya gini.
Iya.
Ke atas, Bang.
Oh, ke atas ya?
Atasnya apa ke bawah nih?
Ke atas.
Oh iya. Apa nih? Pas dibuka betadin. Ngapain nyari betadin ke sini?
Pas dibuka tolak angin.
Iya.
Berarti placement.
Oh, ada sikring ya, udah kayak PLN.
Attention, this is an emergency. All hospital doors will be opened. Please use the exit on the left wing for the nearest exit.
Suruh kabur ya.
Dibuka. Sekarang pintu udah dibuka. Ini tadi listriknya mati kan.
Someone. I saw
Ah,
someone.
oke.
Alhamdulillah, udah nih.
Udah.
Yeay, Boa berhasil, Boa tidak mundur.
Ayo.
Ada luar pengalaman, tolong bantu saya. Ayo, saya harus merayakan ini. Aita kata. Saya bisa, Bang.
Oke, baiklah. Gimana buah tadi?
Aduh, Bang, deg-degan banget, Bang. Nungkul saya udah lemes banget, Bang. Udah kopong, Bang.
Antara berlima sama Puput tadi ya?
Iya, Kak Puput
Temen
kagak
cabut
berani.
dia,
Iya,
iya,
Boa
walk
berani,
out.
Kak Puput tuh setan cuman si Mary. Iya.
Padahal Boa tadi juga udah mau nyerah.
Agak, Bang. Itu mah cuman ini doang, halusinasi, Bang.
Iya. Lagi-lagi Reza terpisah.
Iya, Bang Reja emang tumbal mulu dia.
Tapi lo nggak takut sendirian gitu tadi?
Takut, Bang.
Tapi mau gimana lagi ya?
Lagi.
Iya.
Tapi jangan begitu sebenarnya, Bang.
Karena nggak usah lihat-lihat ya deh.
Daripada Boa sendirian terus Boa kesurupan di dalam sono.
Kalau menurut gua, kan kita udah pernah nyobain Lawang Sewu ya. Boa juga udah nonton yang Lawang Sewu kan.
Tapi kan belum ngerasain.
Iya.
Ini pertama kali.
Ini serem nggak tadi?
Serem banget, Bang.
Serem banget ya.
Itu isi Sarah tuh kenipu tuh.
Iya.
Setan bisa main komputer. Bisa main PUBG itu,
PUBG.
Iya, PUBG.
Tapi yang serem yang pas si ininya Mary-nya bangun ya.
Iya,
Itu gimana coba?
Mati lampu terus ngilang.
Iya, habis itu ngilang. Gila luar biasa. Jadi
WC kali dia.
boker ya.
Iya.
Baiklah, kalau ada yang mau nyobain aja. Karena banyak juga yang nanya di komen gue harganya berapa tuh tiketnya 260.000 ya. Ada yang special rate 210 yang kau di sini. Kalau di yang Lawang Sewu agak lebih murah. Gitu. Tapi
Ini
cobain
setannya
aja.
lebih
Enak
serem.
buat rame-rame, sumpah seru banget. Gue sih recommended banget sih. Seru
Kalau
banget ya.
lagi bete,
Iya,
pengen
iya.
kesurupan ya, sini aja.
Kalau lagi bete pengen ditakut-takutin,
Iya,
cobain aja.
sini aja. Iya.
Oke, thank you semua ya, dadah.
Makasih, mantap. Makasih Bang Radit.
Iya,
Udah
dadah.
ngajak ke rumah setan.
Terima kasih sudah menonton video ini. Jangan lupa subscribe untuk menunjukkan dukungan kamu kepada channel gue.
I shouldn't have fooled around.